Hello, my name is Andrew, and today we're doing a review of the Realfoot Canva Barefoot high top sneakers. So these have an extra wide toe box, and it's kind of funny because they remind me of those vintage PF Flyers that Benny wore when he was running away from this dog called the Beast in the movie Sandlot. Except with all this toe box room, I feel like they would probably fit the Beast too. Anyways, it's got a cotton canvas upper. It's kind of medium thick, so I'd say this is good for cooler weather, maybe warmer weather as well. You could probably wear them in cold weather if you stack up socks. But because of the high top, I could see them getting hot if it was, 80 degrees or above. Obviously, they've got a ton of room up front, but then when you get into this area, I could use a little bit more space here. I think especially because cotton canvas doesn't really stretch, So what I did is I just laced them more loosely in the front, and then I snugged them up towards the top, and they feel really nice. They wrap around your ankle, and I don't feel myself sliding around in there at all. We've got a nice side logo as well, and then on the inside, it's a synthetic, but it's a little bit perforated, so the breathability is pretty good, but like most synthetics, it will develop a smell more easily than something that's 100% cotton. I do love that they've stitched the sole all the way around though, and in terms of the tread, it's 4mm, so very thin, extremely flexible, but this is the same tread that Realfoot uses on their hiking shoes, and I like the rubber. It's very grippy, it's got some great abrasion resistance, and although there's plenty of surface area, there is a little bit more grip than your typical urban sole. So like my other Realfoots, they feel very smooth walking along on pavement, and they're the type of shoe that you could just wear all day long. Generally, I don't wear insoles with my shoes, but Realfoot does give you a thin cork one, which is really flexible and just gives a tiny amount of padding if maybe you're going on rougher terrain or you just want something that feels a little bit softer. If you want an ultra lightweight option, this is the Mukishoes Duna. It weighs almost nothing, feels like wearing nothing on your feet as well, and it has a wide toe box shape, but because the rubber is so thin, it really spreads out. There's a ton of material up here too, so if you have a high arch, this is a little bit better option than Realfoot. It's also organic cotton hemp blend, so very durable, but also completely undyed, so if you're trying to go non-toxic, this is an excellent option. It's quite soft inside as well, and I like the thickness because it's got some toughness, with the hemp, but then it's a little bit thinner than Realfoot, so these are very breathable for hot weather. And in terms of the tread, it's 3.5mm, so even thinner than Realfoot. The flexibility on these is just crazy. It feels almost completely like being barefoot. There's no limitation anywhere in the shoe. And Mukishoes rubber is also very grippy like Realfoot. Plus, even though it's thin, they've got these rounded lugs, so they're really good at resisting abrasion because there's no little texture there to wear down. If you want something a little lower, this is the Vivobarefoot Gobi Sneaker Premium Leather Edition. It's a real mouthful, but it has a wide toe box. The leather is nice and supple. It's very soft feeling. There's nothing pressing on the top of the shoe. The volume is medium, so it's somewhere in between Realfoot and Mukishoes, and it does have more structure here with a little bit higher heel, plus a wraparound guard that gives you some really good water resistance going into puddles and stuff like that. It's also a stitched sole like the others, and in general, I love that it looks kind of like a classic soccer sneaker. It's even got some nice soft suede on the inside, and the heel lock is very good, although it does have a little bit more weight than the others. And in terms of the sole, it's 3.7mm, so very similar to Realfoot. It just has a bit more structure on the sides because of the wraparound sole, although they've done a great job of cutting all the little hexagonal lugs here so that you get a nice amount of flexibility everywhere you go in the shoe. Vivo's rubber is also grippy, similar to Mukishoes and Realfoot, and overall they also feel awesome doing long walks in urban terrain. For a lower cut option, this is the Vivobarefoot Sensus. This is one of the lightest shoes they make. It's got a wide toe box, and although it is a bit lower volume like most Vivos, the leather is very soft and stretchy. It's almost like a baseball glove, so it conforms to the shape of your feet over time. And I love the split down the middle because it kind of looks like those speeders from Star Wars. If you look close, you can see there's also some perforation up front, which is nice for warmer weather. And then the inside of these feels amazing to wear barefoot. It's got a stitched sole like the other three, and then in terms of the tread, it's 3mm, so this is the thinnest barefoot shoe that Vivobarefoot makes. A ton of flexibility, feels like wearing nothing. Very similar to Mukishoes, even a little bit better in terms of ground feel and flex, and some nice grippy rubber, which is great for walks on pavement and road running too, although I will say in hotter weather like 80 degrees or above, any closed-toed shoe like this can get a little bit hot and sweaty, and the sole is quite thin, so I'd be careful about taking them on super rough terrain like gravel. Finally, if you're looking for a winter option, this is the Saltic Vintero. It's basically waterproof, has a wide toe box, although the volume is lower like Vivo. It does have a kind of wraparound tongue in there, which isn't fully gusseted, but it works really well for keeping moisture out. And like I said, the water resistance is really good for how thin they are. In terms of the sole, it's 3.7mm, so very thin, but does have some nice density to it, so this can work on rougher terrain like gravel, kind of like the Realfoot tread, and it does have a crosshatch here, so you get a little bit more grip than some of the other ones on wetter terrain. Although I did find that I had to work it in more, but once I did, the rubber felt really flexible. All right, so that's my first take on the Realfoot Canva, but I'll let you guys know how it goes in the long-term review. And in the meantime, if you'd like to support the channel, you can shop the referral links down below, browse and filter more products with the shoe finder tool on my website barefootwear.org, or watch my zero drop transition video to learn more about barefooting. Finally, if you have a question about the Realfoot Canva or about barefoot shoes in general, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.